Hello there, everybody. Today in your Genius Hour, you will be creating citations for all of the sources that you have used so far in your research. Okay, so you're going to do this before you go on with your research or you move on to your final product. So you have some things in your Genius Hour tab that are going to help you today. First of all, just to check yourself, this is what your Genius Hour tab should look like. You should have your brainstorming page. You should have Genius Hour 2, Genius Hour with some research on it, Genius Hour 3, and then these new handouts here, MLA 7 reference guide, and a sample works cited page for you to go by, and then your works cited page. This is where I will be checking, and you will have all your sources on this page. Now, if you're looking and you're missing 2 or 3 and you're saying, oh, I wasn't here for one of those days, if you weren't here, then that's your responsibility to use that hour, use an hour outside of class to make that up. Okay? So, a lot of you all have already done that and also answered the question in Schoology about how you spent that hour. But if you see now that you're missing and whoops, you didn't make it up within 3 days like you were supposed to, then go back and do that on your own time sometime this week. So, this is what your tab should look like. Today we're going to use these last 3 handouts. So first of all, I want to show you what you're going to end up with. Now, you might have this many, but you don't have to have this many. I'd like you to have at least 3 different sources for this research project, but if you have more, that's fine. So let's look at this. I want you to notice a couple of things about this works cited page. It is in alphabetical order, and not everything at the beginning of each citation is the same. Up here we have a title. Some of these have authors, and that's because there are different ways to cite different sources, and sometimes we don't have all of the information for a citation. But no matter how, once you get that citation done, no matter how it ends up, whatever comes first is what you'll go by when you put these in alphabetical order. The next thing I want you to notice is that each of these citations use a hanging indentation, and that means it's kind of the opposite of a paragraph. We see up here with the first one that blueprint lays out a clear path that starts from the left side of our margin, and then the next line has an indentation there. And if it was even longer than that, if there was another line, it also would be indented. Now, in OneNote, I want to tell you how to do that because it is kind of tricky sometimes. So what you want to do, I'm going to go back and undo this one. If you just went to 2007 here and tried to hit tab to indent that, it sometimes will not do that. And I'll tell you how to fix that. What you have to do is go to the end, like of 8th of May, go to the end of the line before, hit enter, and now I've already done that, so it's kind of, it tried to hit B to make a space there, but go to the end of the first line, hit enter, and then a tab really is the same thing as just 5 spaces. So once you hit enter, your cursor will go down to the next line, and then you may do 5 spaces, or your tab may work at that point. Okay, but that's how to fix that if you can't get a hanging indentation. Okay, so alphabetical order, hanging indentation. You also see that there is a space in between each citation. Okay, so that's what your end product is going to look like here. Now, how do you get there? Well, you're going to use a couple of tools. You might use both of them or only one of them. First of all, I've given you this handout, and you actually received this last year. MLA 7, that doesn't stand for 7th grade, even though you may have gotten this in 7th grade. But it stands for the edition of the MLA handbook. Okay, and they actually are getting ready to come out with, or they might have already been out with, the 8th edition. So next year, when you go to the high school, there might even be some changes from this one. They're constantly updating. But here's your MLA reference guide. As you see here, we just tried to give you a shorter guide rather than looking at the whole book for sources that we thought that you would be using. in middle school and also high school. So, print sources. That means if you have an actual book or print, something you hold in your hand, then you will look at the first group of guides for citations here. A book with one author, a book with two authors. You can see here it gives you what you should have in that citation. Last name, comma, first name, period. You got to pay close attention to the punctuation there. Then the title of the book, you can see that's in italics, period. City of publication, then there's a colon. So it's a little bit tedious, but once you do this, it does get easier. And then here at the end, where it says print, that's just actually the word print, because it is a print source, followed by a period. So, a guide here for books, work in an anthology. Then if you keep scrolling down, there's more here. Encyclopedia article, a magazine. Then you have a different section here for online sources, which you will have a lot of. That may be all that you have for this project, and that's okay. So a specific page on a broader website, and then also an entire website. If you used many pages from a website, then you might have the entire website, but like the example I'm going to show you today is just one page of a website. Online encyclopedia. So that is one source or one guide for you. And then the other thing that you may use and will probably like to use is EasyBib. Okay, it kind of does this work for you. But I want you to also go back and double check using this guide to make sure that you have correctly cited everything. So I'm going to give you an example of how to use EasyBib here. Okay, so if you go to your browser, it is just EasyBib with only one S. .com. Okay, so when you get to easybib.com, it's ready for you to put in what you would like to cite. It's already on the MLA setting, and that's good. That's what we're going to use here. That's what Tennessee High uses. So you can see down here you have different tabs. Are you citing a website, a book, a video, a journal, a database? Anything that you use in your final project and anything you've already gotten information from, you're going to cite. Okay? So 59 options here, and I've already shown some of you all this. Any picture that you use, you see down here a digital image. Okay, shows you how to cite that. So anything, unless you created it yourself, if it was something you painted or drew, then you may put that in there and you want to cite yourself. But anything that you're taking from any other source needs to be documented and cited. Okay, so you see here that you can even cite a cartoon or a comic, a blog, a brochure, the Bible, a press release, even an email from someone. If you happen to email an expert in whatever your subject is and they gave you information that you wanted to use, shows you how to cite an email. So today I want to cite a website. So let's just say that I have in my Genius Hour 2 here, I got some information, let's see, from this page in the Huffington Post. So this part should be very easy. I've gone back to my notes and I have website addresses, the URL address for everything. So I'm going to go back there, back where I got that information so I can cite it. Now the first thing you're going to do, so I've got EasyBib in another tab. You're going to copy just that URL address up from your search bar. Or not search bar, but address bar. Copy it. Go back to EasyBib. Let EasyBib do as much as it can for you. If you give it that website address or web page address, paste it in there, it's going to go through and do as much of the work for you as it can, and then let you know what you still need to find. So I've put the address in there. I'm clicking Cited. And then it tells me, here's what we found for you. Okay, so this was a good one because it found all these things that I needed already. The title, the article title, publisher, the date accessed, so that will be today for you, and the author. And then it tells me, here's what we need your help with. It couldn't find when it was electronically published in there, so I've got to go back and look for that with my own eyes. So depending on the website, it might find a lot for you or not. So you might have a longer list here at the bottom. So you want to click continue to the final step. And then it'll show you what has already been filled out. See, these are all blanks. But it found everything. And what it'll do is kind of this orange color. Yours might look more red. You see it's highlighting for you what you still need to put in there. So they need to know when it was electronically published. So I'm going to go back to that website and see if I can find that. So when was this published? Oh, yes, it's right here underneath the title. Okay, this was published on February 12th, 2013. So if you get any information from an article and this date is at the top like this, that's the date that it was published. Okay, so I've got to put that in there, February 12th, 2014. It even gives me the time, but I don't think I need to put that in. Okay, so the day, it's asking for the day first of page, and so it was the 14th. The month was February, and the year was 2014. Okay, so I've filled in everything. I'm going to just double check, is anything else in red? No. So now I click Create Citation. Okay, hooray, here's your new citation. Okay, so now I want to put that on my Works Cited page. So I'm going to copy it, copy and paste, yes, allow access. So it says it's copied. No, thank you, I don't want any of that now. So now I'm going to go back to my OneNote. I have my first citation for my Works Cited page. So I'm just going to paste this here for now. Now, I'm going to take this off. I don't need to know that this came from EasyBib because that's okay. I'm giving you all permission to use that. I'm going to take off this little arrow too. Now I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It didn't do the hanging citation. So I need the second line to be a hanging citation. So if I go to February and hit that's what happens. If you hit tab, it tries to make it into a table. So I'm going to hit reverse. That's not what I wanted to do. And if I hit the space bar, it does nothing. But now I know if I go up here to the first line, 14, hit enter, then I can make my space. It looks like there's already a couple spaces. 3 spaces there already, so now I know I need 2 more because a tab is 5 spaces. Okay, so I have my first citation. Now, for alphabetical order, you may need to go back and rearrange at the end. So I have a K, so depending on what else I make a citation for, I'll need to rearrange, but I'm well on my way. And that is how you're going to cite your sources and create your Works Cited page. Good luck.